Ben, even on a quieter night, Hartford Police could see up to 70 calls a night for fireworks. Just here at our station just down the street, we've heard a number of those fireworks tonight alone. And that's prompted Hartford Police to create that task force in order to crack down the suppliers, try to educate the public, and hopefully help you sleep at night. They are loud, dangerous, and illegal.
They're not your sparklers, they're not your level ground fireworks. These are airborne fireworks that launch.
Any devices that fly and explode in the state of Connecticut are illegal. They have Hartford's finest cracking down.
A lot of people have young children and animals, and there's a lot of our residents have PTSD, military veterans. They don't really like or appreciate fireworks.
Hartford Police launched a task force on June 18th designed to educate, warn, seize explosives, and if need be, arrest violators for the late-night displays.
Right there.
Down 6-2 clear last night in Greenfield, Edgewood.
They respond to resident complaints, called in or texted, and patrol known hotspots to try and catch people in the act.
Just so you guys know, those fireworks are dangerous and illegal.
Hartford Police say the fireworks are coming from out of state. They attribute the rise in the use to people being cooped up without traditional social gatherings.
Make sure you keep it safe. You know what the rules, right? You don't want to be getting arrested for this stuff, right?
One day after the task force launched, HPD seized over 100 fireworks, as well as narcotics and guns. They have made 3 other large busts and have seen complaints drop 33% in the last week.
A lot of times they're coming from a lot of different places. It's almost like every other street.
Fireworks can be dangerous. A faulty launch can cause a fire or serious injury, including loss of limbs.
Once we get out there, hopefully we can make contact with the residents of the area, neighbors, individuals on the streets, and just try to inform them.
Now, even though word is catching on about the arrests and enforcement, Hartford Police do expect an uptick in fireworks this holiday weekend. Now, if you want to file a complaint on the fireworks, you can reach out to Hartford Police through a tip line, and that number you can call or text is on your screen. Right now, live in Hartford, Dave Puglisi, FOX61 News.
All right.